Well, why don't you and Nick come over for dinner and see the new Renault?
I love what you've done with the place.
It's great.
Sparkling.
Yummy.
Christine, we had this chat yesterday. Your new kitchen appliances arrive tomorrow morning. Reimagine your home at ours.
Hello and welcome, and the big day has arrived. The first day for the 2024 JJ Giltinan Championship, the winning JJ Giltinan Championship. Invitation race today, so no points up for grabs as such. It's just a warm day to get out on the harbour and stretch the muscles. And hello, I'm Peter Shipway, along with Andrew Buckland and Jimmy Bury. We'll be bringing this whole championship to you over the next 8 or 9 days. There'll be nine heats in total, and we'll get to those a little bit later of the race schedule. But we say firstly to Andrew Buckland. Andrew, talk about the wind. There's not much here today for this invitation race.
No, Pete, pretty desultory northeasterly, east northeasterly flow. Not sure how it works really, to be honest. Quite cool. A low pressure cell to the southeast of us. Not enough grunt to push any southeasterly flow up the coast. So a bit of an odd situation, but this looks pretty stable, and we wouldn't expect to see 10 knots.
No, it's very light, very humid at the moment, but a little earlier today in the park there was a lot of characters around, and we spoke to a couple of them, and here's some thoughts of a guy from New Zealand and a guy from Australia, what they had to say. Well, we're here with John Woody Winning and Graham Catley. Firstly to you, Woody, how's the operation, how's the hips?
Yeah, well, pretty successful, I think. It's amazing, really. They nearly cut your leg off, and they got you out of bed the same day, and I think I'm going better than I expected. I can get about down the ladder and into the duck, so just got to be careful.
Oh, that's good news. So you're sailing today?
No, tomorrow. No, I think next season. I think it'll be a little while before I'm, back in the boat.
Okay, we've got Mick Lane steering for the series for Yandu.
I think he'd do a better job than me. He's he's a bloody good skipper, good bloke, and about the same weight. They've been going well. They should give it a shake, I guess. It should be pretty open out there. 3 or 4 boats at least that could win it.
Absolutely. Well, Graham Catley, welcome from New Zealand, the manager of the New Zealand boys. What's the level like, do you think, for the New Zealanders over here?
Well, COVID shut us down, unfortunately, and the guys, all the experience that was in the class at that point in time, have sort of kind of retired, maybe temporarily, but they haven't come back to the class yet. And so we've got a bunch of new guys, and we've decided to relaunch the class and start the campaign again. But these guys are all 20 to 25 years old, so and never sailed on Sydney Harbour before, so it's going to be quite a challenge for them. But notwithstanding that, there's some really good sailors in the squad, and so we won't shake too many, cause too many worries this year. But I think in a few years to come, we'll be back right into it like we have been.
Well, that's what we want, don't we? Some youngsters coming through, yes, and get all these old blokes out of the way. Now, our friends from Honda that won the titles, yes, a number of years ago over here, they're not looking to come back into the 18s?
I think that they just might. They have declared that they want to win 5 titles, and they've only won 3. And this year, one of the main sheet hand had got tied up coaching the Olympic 49ers, and the timing, he had a clash of timing, otherwise they probably would have been here. He's over in Europe, but there's certainly a little bit of enthusiasm to come back next year with the Honda team.
Great. Now, Woody, quick prediction. Today's going to be light for the invitation race, but it looks like it'll be quite fresh tomorrow.
Yeah, they might nearly get a reef in tomorrow, the little reef, I think, a lot of them. Over 30 knots.
So, who's the money on? Your son?
Well, he hasn't probably had the greatest season so far, but he probably hasn't given himself the best chance. They've been in and out and doing other things, so I'd like to think that some of the others are competitive with him, but I wouldn't write him off at this stage. You know, I'm sure they'll win a heat or two if they don't win the whole thing.
And Graham, in New Zealand, does the boys watch much of the coverage from over here?
Yeah, we do. I think that, you know, that's one of been the biggest learning curve for these these young guys coming in. They've got to learn the procedures in the boat, and your guys the coverage of the camera in the boat virtually allows it, through the manoeuvres, allows them to get a step ahead. We're not as far back as we were when we first started coming over here, but we've got a little way to come forward, I have to say.
A lot of my New Zealand friends say they watch it with the sound turned off. Is that right?
No. Who am I to say that?
All right, Graham, well, welcome again, and enjoy the week. And Woody, good to see you up and about.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well, we're back live here on the harbour, and we'll say first time today to introduce Jimmy Bury. Jimmy, the course, it's one of our favourites in Not Much Breeze.
G'day, Shipper. Yeah, it is one of our favourites, but obviously not in this way to breeze, but the nor'easter it is, course number 1. So we start down here near Clark Island, and the skiffs work their way all the way up to the Beachville Buoy, just up near South Head. Set spinnakers, run down around Shark Island, back down here to Clark Island, around the bottom mark, and working their way all the way back up to the top to the Beachville Buoy. Then they run straight back down here to Clark Island, round this bottom mark, up to the Beachville Buoy for the last time, set the spinnakers, run down around Shark Island, and finish just here off Double Bay.
Okay, well, thank you, Jimmy. There's one of the Queenslanders as we're looking at them with Clark Island in the background, but a fleet of 27 boats have entered for the titles. Officially underway today with the invitation race, if you just joined us, and then the first heat tomorrow on the harbour. 27 entries made up of 1 from the United Kingdom, 3 from New Zealand, which is great to see them back. Germany have 2 boats, Denmark 1, Queensland 2, Victoria have 1 boat this year, and the remainder, 17, come from New South Wales. So a very open championship, I think we'd have to say, but we'll delve into that a little bit more tomorrow, I think, and before the first heat. But at the moment, we're down in Double Bay, Clark Island area, and the breeze, what is it, Andrews, 7-8 knots at very best, I guess.
Oh, I'd be struggling to be 8, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And they're just 3 strings fully powered up, so we... Queensland boats.
Yeah, there's other Queenslander. I saw Rob Brown, a former JJ winner, in the park a little earlier today. He's down. He's been doing a bit of work with the Queenslanders. He said not a great deal, but he's just been trying to talk them through the rigours of Sydney Harbour and giving some, I'm sure, valuable tips to those boys. But he said probably what they lack is fleet racing, because there's only a few of them up in Queensland. And we're at the moment just awaiting the start. We'll probably say it's about just over 9 minutes, and that's Rib that just passes is driven by Woody Winnie. And on the left, as we look, the guy on the white hat is a well-known 18-foot figure, Ian Murray, who's been doing a bit of work with the Andu boys. But at the moment, a few boats, skiffs are going upwind, just barely 3 strings on a big rig. And we welcome a lot of our regulars to this today, and I'm sure they'll be with us all through the week coming up. Ian Barnard's back as usual. Well, hello to you, Ian. Nipper Henderson, he says, let's get ready to rumble. Well, we are ready to rumble, Nipper, but there's not much wind to rumble in. But I think tomorrow could be a different story. Might ask Andrew his overview on that after today's race. Olivia is again with us from Milwaukee, USA. So hello to you, Olivia. I know you're a regular. Christian Dameron. Well, he reckons he's in the International Space Station in space. I don't know how fair dinkum that is. I'd say not fair dinkum at all. He wouldn't get much of a view up there. And Rollo's joined us, I guess, from West Australia. Grant Rollison. Craig Parrish. Hello to you, Craig, again. Keith Statton from Chesapeake. Hello to you again, Keith. Yeah, all the regulars are there. JD Clancy from Massachusetts. Looking forward to another great JJ's, well, as we all are. And it's going to be a long regatta, and no clear favourite at this stage. And from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Giles Holland. Hello to you, Giles. And I think you've got Sale GP coming your way in a couple of months' time up there. So Mike Saby, he's in Singapore. He says hello to us all. Hello to you, Mike. Hope all is well.
G'day, Sabes.
Yeah. And so about 7 and a bit minutes to go to the start. The fleet, a few of them have gone upwind in very light air. Some of them are still coming out of Double Bay, so they're not going to have much tune-up time. But the other point to make note of, I guess, is that the harbour is pretty empty of any spectator boats or yachts. There's Andu, last year's champion, the defending champion. There's a few ferries going up and down, but there is one big yacht there. But other than that, it's a pretty clear runway up to the Beechel Buoy on the first leg. It's going to be a fairly long race time-wise, Andrew, isn't it?
Yeah, this will be up near 2-hour duration, I think. But the tide is ebb, so the beats will get speeded up a little, but the runs won't be too quick. So, but Pete, I think just looking forward to the effect, perhaps, of the top of the international or interstate boats compressing and making the front of the peloton or the back of the podium type part of the fleet more difficult and onerous if you get behind, and there's now the best Kiwi boat, say, and the best German boat, say, and perhaps the best Queensland boat that probably going to be ranked around the 4, 5, 6 kind of position. And so the front of the peloton gets more and more difficult. If you get behind those guys, it gets very tough. And I think we'll even get some insight into that from today's race, which will be quite tricky.
Could be a good long spread, that's what you're saying. But Andrew, while we're waiting here, let's talk quickly about the heritage, if you like, of the invitation race, or how that all came about.
Well, I mean, the history is obviously long, but the invitation race used to be exactly that the class would invite other classes to participate because it was a big public event and there was decent prize money, and so they would usually invite the Australian 16-footer champion of the year, whoever that was. But this year we couldn't do that because Keegan can't be in 2 places at once.
He reckons he could.
He reckons he could. But they would do a terrific job of handicapping. So it was a pursuit race, and obviously the favourite for the title would start off scratch. And they'd put the best 16-footer on about 16 minutes. And on occasion there were other classes invited as well. There was always a bit of a dichotomy because back in the day when you weren't allowed to have prize money if you wanted to go to the Olympics, those people didn't get invited. But the class, was pretty open about who would attend, and they did a terrific job. And the 16-foot skiff off about 16 minutes was in the hunt. And back in the day when the limit boat was on 20, so there was a 20-minute spread on the full distance course like we've got today. But unfortunately, that has been lost in some degree. But wouldn't mind seeing it reinstated, personally.
Okay, well, there's the Danes, who have been out training pretty solidly in the last week or so.
So let's get it correct, Pete. It's called the Bloody Dane.
Well, I didn't want to swear, but that's the official name of the boat.
That's right. Jesper Brondum, Tobias Hemdorf and Sebastian Breisting.
You can just see how light it is looking upwind, and fleet are just drifting downwinds with spinnakers. The runs are going to be very light, and there's...
So, Pete, the other effect we're going to see today is what happens if you might be at the top end of the crew weight spectrum. I think the lightest crew might be one of the Kiwi crews down around 230, and the heaviest crew is probably Andu up around, best guess, 300.
Well, what do you reckon about the Royal Oak, Bucko? The young blokes on that, they're pretty small.
No, he's 6'4", Jacob.
Yeah, well, but that's fine.
He's a string bean. He's
There's not much of him. Well, we won't see the Rag and Famish out. I'm seeing that Harry Price is watching live online. So.
Oh, well, they were in the park.
They were in the park.
Okay, so Rag not starting.
No, Harry's still a little bit in sufferance.
Well, we've only got 26 going to face the starter at the moment. Out off Clark Island, Double Bay. Vicaris, the system that will tell the boats whether they're over or not. The little instrumentation on the mast under the boom on the gooseneck, near the gooseneck. Red if you're over, green if it's good to go. And we've got now just over 2 minutes. The flag's barely fluttering on the committee vessel. Still, some boats still coming downwind. And it is light. It's got lighter, if anything, Andrew, here, hasn't it?
It's hard for it to get windy when the air's as cool as the water, and vice versa. The boundary layer pretty thick, a lot of shear, etc., etc., etc.
Or as hot as the water, 24 degrees water temperature.
Yeah.
Says the 18-footers, bar and restaurant. Regular out here, Hugo Stoner, Hugo Leeming and Hamish Vass. So 1 minute 40 to go. There looked a pretty light crew, I think. But the boat's just milling around. It's hard to know which end to go. It's joined the dots with the pressure, I think.
Oh, Pete, I think
the game.
It's the same story. First guy out into the river wins the race. So a little bit more pressure actually come rolling down the middle of the harbour now, in fact. So they will start in full stretch. 3 strings, Jimmy, won't they?
Well, just I'd say. Anyway, we've just over a minute to go. This title brought to you by Winnings.
So Pete, we'll be starting at the pin end, if you don't mind me saying so. If I can put my Kiwi accent on, at the pun, let's go to the pun.
You like that end, do you?
Yep.
All right, well, there's the pin we're looking at, the bottom of the screen. Not too many boats racing to get down there. A lot queued up here at the weather end. You can see them stacked up.
No, there's too many boats.
Oh, the kitchen maker, where's he off to?
Too many boats at the weather end, that is for sure.
Yeah, well, there's not much wind down near the pin, near Clark Island. That's the thing, 18-footers up here. The kitchen maker's trying to rumble across the fleet there with 33 seconds to go. So, sixth way back. He's going to miss it. That's Yandu coming across on port. He's trying to find a hole to get into. 20 seconds to go.
They're all early. Kitchen maker will be over with 15 seconds to go.
Yeah, there's a few of them have put the foot down early. Yeah, I think we're going to see.
Noakes Youth also over, I think.
We've got...
Everyone.
Yeah, I think just...
Everyone bar 6th.
The Copies away. Yeah. I think there'll be
this will be a test for the Vicaris.
Yes. There's one hooter. 2 hooters. Funny about that. Well, I guess to be expected. Everyone got a bit jumpy and one went. They all went.
A bit of ebb and they all went.
So it makes the day even longer, time-wise, as we're going to have to do it all again. But that's the game we play.
Exercise in futility, isn't it? Anyway.
We've got Stedroy Roche watching from Antigua. So hello to you, Stedroy. Hugo Butterworth from Pittwater. Wish I was on the ferry. I don't think there is a ferry today, is there?
No ferry today. They've got the virtual ferry back in the club. Hello to all the viewers back in the clubhouse at the virtual ferry.
That's a much better ferry than the real ferry, Jimmy. It doesn't rock and the...
And you haven't got to wait for everyone to get off the wharf for you to get off.
Hugo, if you're on the ferry, you wouldn't be seeing much.
The ferry's back starts tomorrow and runs all the way through.
Yeah, well, the first heat tomorrow, invitation race today. We've had one go at trying to get it away, but that failed because everyone wanted to get away quicker than the other blokes, so they all went pedal down and they were all over the line, or the majority were over the line. Gee, it's light looking upwind.
Still, there's enough wind to complete the race, so that's all we need to worry about. Enough wind to plane downwind. It's good enough.
So, remembering the Rag and Famish is a non-starter. Yandu is going to be skippered for the series and today by Mika Lane, who won the Australian title.
Won 4 of the 6.
Skippered the boat for 4 of the 6 races.
No, and good work from Mika to step in and get the job done.
So there's a quick overview of the entry list there. And there's our friends that might not be well known down the bottom. Team Victoria with Scott Cunningham steering. Hoffelhaus from Germany. Bloody Danes from Denmark. UK 91. The New Zealanders there.
And, you know, do the Queenslanders need a passport, Peter, and a visa to get to Sydney? That's the key question, isn't it?
Well,
it's not a bad trip down the freeway these days.
No,
it's only Coffs Harbour with 12 sets of lights, which is a pain in the neck. The rest of it's all really good.
Coffs Harbour bypass, 500 million or something, right?
Well, it's on its way. I think it's due for completion 27.
Go to Queensland for a drink one night and come back.
The big banana draws them in, Chits. Come on.
Well, we're waiting. It's just under 7 minutes for a start of the invitation race for the 2024 championships.
Just, Shippo, just had a quick look on Facebook. There's a fair bit of support for the Finport boys on there.
Yeah, well, I think they're very much in the favouritism stakes for the championship.
So, chaps, we'll assess the form today, right? I want everybody to come tomorrow with your top 6 and your top 2.
Hang on, Bucko, who's running this show?
I am now.
You're the expert. You do what you're told.
You bloke need to put in a bit, all right?
You do what you're told.
Come on.
Top 6 in order?
No.
Alphabetically?
No,
Or
just who you think makes up the top 6.
Top 6.
It's an interesting question.
What about the top 27 then? I can give you that.
We'll shape it in as the week goes on.
Okay, as the AP down, then we've ready to rumble in about 5 minutes 50.
But forewarned should be forearmed. I know Jimmy will come well prepared with a well thought out idea about the top 2 and the top 6, won't you, mate?
Bucko, no.
No. What sort of operation is this?
Well, you know, you've got to give everyone a chance. Like, at least, can we have till day 2? How's that? Race 2.
Yeah, all right. We can.
Just give us a bit of shape.
A bit of shape. Okay, fair enough. But tomorrow probably is going to be atypical looking at the weather. But anyway, it's another thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we might be able to rock and roll tomorrow a bit more. But at the moment, it's very light on the harbour. 7, 8 knots at best from the northeast. And the invitation race is just over 5 minutes away for the second start.
Yeah, Pete, I think with the ebb tide, it effectively will feel like 8 to 9 over at the headland at Bradley's. Down the back of Shark could be a bit dicey, though.
Yes.
So let's not speak too soon about wind speed.
Jump out and paddle around there.
Yeah, that looks pretty ordinary, doesn't it? Those big pine trees keep getting bigger every year. Wind shadow.
It is the first day of autumn, so the season changes, as they say. There's Lazarus, who's Tom Kunich, Mark Chapon and Tim Morishima.
I spoke with Tim earlier on. Shippo, he's parked up his 49er campaign where he was trying to qualify for Japan, and now just looking for a full-time ride back here in the 18s.
So he's giving it away for the Olympics, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think they qualified, so
right.
As you know, it's a very expensive little program to run.
Yep. Okay, well there's our friends from the UK. UK 91, Luke Goebel, Simon Toplak and Max Settle.
We'll run with that for now, Shippo.
Settle, yeah, I'd settle for that. C-Tech from Queensland.
It might be Max Settle.
Settle.
There's your homework, Bucko.
Josh Sloman there with C-Tech. There's the Royal Oak, one of the young skippers who's had his moments this season and would certainly not be discounted for a top place in the title. With just under 3 to go here on the harbour for the JJs. We've got, looking upwind, there's a huge pleasure boat just coming down towards Bradley's Head. Hopefully it'll be out of the way by the time they get there. There's the Royal Oak. Jacob Marks, Alex Marinelli and Matt Doyle. And
Baz will be watching. He's been doing a fair bit of work with the Royal Oak guys.
Baz Atkins.
Yep.
Hello to you, Baz. I hope to see you in the park during the week. Burrowang, Simon Nern, Cam Walker and Paddy Bannon. And it is light here. It's hasn't got any stronger, that's for sure. Just over 2 minutes to go. Fisher Paykel, Jordan Gertis. We've got a Christian's joined us from Bavaria. Hello to you, Christian. Don't know what time it'd be in Bavaria. It might be a bit colder than it is in Sydney, but welcome to you. Probably good morning to you. There's the Victorians there. And they're holding back a little, 130. You still like the pin, Andrew? There's no one down there.
I still like the pin.
You've got it all yourself.
All good.
We could get down there quickly.
Yep.
Oh, a bit of yelling going on behind us here. Up the windward end, they're all stacked up here again.
Bit early for Kung Fu, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just an invitation race.
Yeah. Yandu's down toward the pin, Pete, the middle in row B. They're
down there, but gee.
The Black Knight down there.
Yeah. How long have we got? We've got just a minute. Hoffel House up here at the windward end. There'll be a bit of yelling in German. I'm sure everyone will understand what they're saying if they want some room. Who else is up here? The 18-footer bar and restaurant. Oh, there's one of the New Zealand boats, ASCC, with a yellow flash on the sail. And furthest down is Marine Outlet. I think she's the most...
and having an adventure down there too, Pete.
Yeah.
So, and Lazarus, not without people having a go.
Marine Outlet's put his nose up there. He's got plenty of runway to get back if he's... Andrew's down there.
Yeah, so they're all wriggling. Not too bad. Balmain right up on it.
Gee, Balmain's tight on the mark. Big log jam here at the weather end and not much wind. 5 seconds to go. Oh, there's a few over down that bottom end.
Burrowang.
Oh, it's going to be another. Oh. What's he going to do? They're away, but...
Could be a couple of individuals, I think.
Yeah, individual. Well, we'll get that update a bit later, but Yandu has gone back to restart. He's really giving them a start. Someone else is going back down there. Who's
Burrowang
that?
is going back.
Thank you, Jimmy. Kobe missed it. He's coming across the fleet on port. Sixth is also tacked early. Light air. We're away in the invitation race for the 2024 JJ Giltinan Championship for the 18-foot skiffs on Sydney Harbour in very light conditions.
And Finput, Andu and the Dark Knight probably prominent, I would say. Balmain as well.
Okay, well, not prominent is Yandu. He went back and is now probably second last. Majority on starboard towards Bradley's. It's very light. Gee, there's some big voids in this wind, Andrew.
Yeah, but they're nicely 3 strings once they get into the channel.
I wouldn't say nice. I think the body language is...
off the inner bar.
Yeah, I think the body language is not saying good 3 strings, but... Anyway, there's Yandu, and there's that big pleasure boat that I was talking about right at Bradley's Head. He'll probably be around the headland by the time they get there because they're not moving very quickly. Tide going out, not a huge tide, but a bit more breeze to the right where there's Young Henry's.
We can have a good look up the exhaust pipe of the Finport. They are heads back, leaning.
Okay, well, there's Yandu, and above them is that's our British friends, is it? No, it's
RAYC
RAYC
with the Maersk sail, mainsail.
That's the trick, everyone.
Royal Akarana.
And then above them is the other New Zealand boat with the yellow flash. Behind them, Vykobi, then sixth. Those all missed the start badly. So we're on this group that probably in third or fourth row at the start.
Yep. And
boy, it's getting light up here. Few three-stringing, but
just pleasant three strings. Main sheet in the cleat, we used to call it, Pete.
yeah,
Pull her on as hard as you can, then pull on a bit more and put her in the cleat. That'll do.
Did you have cleats on when you started?
No, that was a metaphorical cleat, Jimmy. Sorry.
okay, well that's the group that probably started furthest towards the pin. From the top it's Marine Outlet, John Cooley, and we come down to Lazarus, Andu,
Big white ship in the way.
Balmain, and then Bigfoot from Queensland, and then down to leeward of them, Thomas Green was Fisher Paykel. And this big cruise boat, Marine Outlet, going round the front of him, I think.
Yep, absolutely.
And going, there's Balmain.
And the Lazarus.
Oh,
Lazarus just wants them to open the back doors and run it on through.
cruise bloke didn't know what to do. Don't know, go forward or backwards. I think he's now going reverse, isn't he, Jimmy?
Yes, absolutely.
Just to really cause some mayhem. So that's the first kumquat award of the week, I think. And it's a beauty too.
It's going to be a hot contest, that one.
It is, but this bloke's put his name firmly in the hat now.
I mean, the spectators are having a good day out, but
Well,
you don't.
he's now going reverse.
You don't wreck the
No,
race.
he's in forward
Now
now.
he's going forward. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's Andu going across his stern, right into Bradley's. See him in a moment. There he is. I don't know where's...
And the breeze a little in the right, Pete, so...
Yeah, it is a little in the right here. So, I don't know where Marine Outlet is. He's gone... No, here he comes. He's punched out the back of the cruise boat. You'll see him in a moment converging with Andu. Is Andu getting ready to attack? Where's Marine Outlet? We haven't seen him yet. There he is. So he's going to take a lot of sterns there. Andu right on the lighthouse of Bradley's. Now he's got to take a couple of sterns here. Behind Balmain.
Oh, and Balmain's going to slam on him.
Oh, thanks very much.
Well, he didn't tack very well, so...
No, but Andu's got a bit of pace.
Let him escape.
Finport looks prominent. But that's
Finport and the Dark Knight are 1 and 2.
The Dark Knight's done very well.
And Smeg's in the hunt
Well,
also.
don't forget, Smeg won the last seat of the Australian titles 2 weeks ago.
Correct, in light air.
And I think you'll find that the Dark Knight, or the Black Knight, was over.
Oh,
It was one of the boats that were over. I don't
so
think they went back.
we'll try and get a confirmation on that, Jimmy. But really, he'll probably keep going. I mean, obviously, there's
Nothing to lose, is there?
no. He just wants to test his speed.
He just wants to check in, indeed. But he's done a good job for the first 3 minutes, Peter.
There's a little bit of right in this breeze, isn't there?
Yeah.
Look at the boats going back on port. They're quite low.
So
Sneaking up the Bradley shore is Finport, Keegan York.
Gradient east nor'easter. Quite
Above them,
strange.
Smeg,
Quite strange.
Nathan McNamara, Jed Cruikshank and Jack Taylor. There's Huffle House.
Hard left with the Hoffel House. Here we go. Smeg's going to cross Finport.
Holger Hoffel is the helmsman, but there's Finport tacking, but off
Just a little
screen.
duck to go behind Smeg. So they're sort of top 3, those guys.
Yeah. And a lot of the group going towards Shark Island, and not bad pressure over there. Andu's one of those. Smeg just tacking up off the Cardinal mark at Bradley's head. A few coming back. Lazarus is prominent. He's coming back. And
The ferry kindly stopped for him there in the middle of the course, which is the May Gibbs.
very well done. So no, he's top of our best list at the moment. Smeg just dipping behind Lazarus. And what do we got? 8 knots at best here, Andrew, I guess.
Well, have a look, Pete. If you look in the middle of the fleet there, Finport just back on the starboard. Looks like the breeze is in the middle of the river, the funnel kind of operating.
Tide going out.
Yep. Probably no great joy in being hard right yet, so...
No, there's Vykobi, who Didn't get a very good start, but he's been very good this year, consistently in the top half dozen. Young crew, Kirk Mitchell and Daniel Barnett and Andrew Stevenson. So this is a very good test for the big sail breeze in light airs. There's Lazarus. So there's the ferry weaving his way through the fleet.
Did a pretty
Fast
good
ferry
job.
from Manly. He did a pretty good job indeed.
So Finport's stretched out a bit here, Pete. I think he leads easily now.
Yeah, we're on. There's Finport, Keegan York. Yeah, just having a look back. He'd be pretty happy what he's seen, but a couple of boats up here going into Taylor's Bay. Lazarus is one of them who's prominent. I'd say it's probably between Lazarus and Finport. Quite a grey day on the harbour. A lot of cloud, full cloud cover really. Sun breaking through in a couple of spots. Okay, well there's Finport and there's Lazarus, so that's Taylor's Bay they're going into and towards Chowder Head.
And a little more pressure on this edge, Pete. And the headland, in fact.
Starting to lean back now, moving into their work nicely as the Finport. He started to come good at the second half of the season, so
This is a good effort.
Good effort.
Good effort from the Lazarus here.
Absolutely.
Leading the race close to.
Well, I think they'll be close to crossing Finport.
Yeah,
Finport on a little bit of a header.
Yep,
And
so
they're getting good pressure around the headland here, Lazarus.
Compression at the headland, and he's first in.
Tom Kunich, very good. Just betting ready to tack. There he goes. Now, this will be the cross.
And they're not a heavy crew either, you know. And Tom's only quite a little bloke, really.
Yeah, maybe a little dip. We'll see.
Oh, I'd be enjoying it.
Oh, absolutely. Now, there's the cross coming. And what's he going to do?
He's just going to cross.
Oh, it's tight.
Yeah. Little tiny duck from Finport, so
no damage done.
Yep.
As they say in the invitation race. So it's Lazarus, it's Lazarus and Finport. And out in the middle of the harbour is the Bigfoot from Queensland. Is very prominent, as is Balmain, and Andu is in the mix.
But easily the most wind is here on the left edge.
And
like
Smeg.
Serious amount of wind. Nearly 10 knots, Peter, to us.
Yeah, I
say.
like Balmain.
No.
He's very well placed.
And he's not heavy either, so he'll be fast.
Just behind him is Smeg. So it's a good battle up the front. Queensland is very impressive early. And right in the furthest boat to the right is Andu, looking to come back. But there's Smeg. There's Balmain. Smeg to leeward. Just going behind him is Lazarus. So the group out in the middle have done well. And it may be Andu that leads, actually. Okay, there's the Black Knight. And Andu.
Andu leads, Peter.
I think they do. I like the heavy crew today, Andrew.
Hey?
It's all about stability in the heavy crew. Water ballast.
Grip on the water, you think, Pete?
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's a new theory. Did he leave out the tide as well? Wow, the fleet's got spread out pretty quick. There's Yandu going left. We're on the right edge over with Yandu towards Nielsen. Yandu's come back to cover Yandu. So the leaders pretty much all on port coming to the eastern shore. The recommended pathway, indeed.
Well, this is a good test for Yandu. He missed the start. Well, he missed the start, then went back. So he probably didn't miss it. He may have thought himself was over. But he's went back and now he's wriggling his way right into contention again as we're in the cockpit of Andu, the defending JJ champions. Give us a little wave there, Herman. Pretty relaxed.
Bit of new paint, etc., etc.
Sevi Jarvin, a multiple winner of the JJs, and Sam Newton as well.
Probably not only new paint.
Very experienced crew, these boys. Going to take some beating in this title.
But, Pete, I'm here to tell you that the Yandu hasn't left any doubt that they've got the through-the-water speed to come from fullback to on the podium at the first windward mark. So,
Well, we know that boat's quick, right, Bucko? It's proven time and time again.
Yeah. So they're probably about a little over halfway up this first beat. That's Steel Point at southern end of Nielsen Park. Hello to you, John Martin from Auckland, and Joshua Watson also from Auckland. Nice to have some New Zealanders back racing. Belinda Gibson, hi to you. Finn Rodowitz.
what's Finney's excuse for not being here?
Probably the same as Harry's.
Yeah, he says rag OCS. Well, they certainly weren't OCS, they weren't here. Anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, there's Nielsen Park. Still under construction, the beach. Well, it's been about 3 summers. But anyway, this Yandu, Mika Lane, Lewis Brake and Fang Warren just tacking right in on Steel Point. They'll go behind Lazarus. And I think it's Andu leads. Where did Finport end up in all that? He's just about 4th.
In the middle, he's about 4th now.
Okay, there's Lazarus having a great hit out here.
But Pete, here's the thing. Finport probably going to gain here as long as he comes hard right.
Well, it's this sort of breeze, you've got to get right, even if you overlay the weather mark, as we say all the time in this sort of breeze. It's not quite enough east to get all the way to Nielsen, but probably is, yeah.
No, all the way to
the bottle and glass.
To the Cardinal mark.
Yeah. Okay, Finport coming in on port. What's he done? He's going to cross.
He's going to duck Lazarus.
Yes. And then he's going to take the stern of Lazarus.
And that's how much he wants this edge. And as we look at it, Pete, 9 knots of wind here, perhaps even a little
bit more. Just always little building pressure between bottle and glass and Steel Point. And that's exactly where Finport is being taken by Keegan York. And that's the overhead, is attacking now.
So with Matty Stenner and Phil back on the boat, so full strength lineup, but they're not that heavy. You know, they're in the medium crew weight range. You know,
jump 3 blokes on. So out in the middle, Balmain went left and now converging back in the middle. They're not far off Andu. I think Balmain will be second here, boys. There's the group that's probably 3rd, 4th and 5th. And there's a coming out on port. That's the Germans, the Black Knight. Okay, there's Balmain and Andu. They'll be 1st and 2nd with Finport, Lazarus, Yandu and Bigfoot in the mix. Nice breeze here as we're approaching the weather mark near the Eastern Channel Pilot, probably about 8 or 9 knots, best we've seen. Flat water.
Beautifully flat water. Nice. So, Peter, always a bit deceptive. The tacking angle on these boats is quite wide in this kind of wind speed. A bit over 80 degrees.
And there's Andu. He's breeze a little bit
and Balmain
in the left here.
Balmain amongst the lighter crews looks a little quicker than Andu through the water down there, Pete.
That's the Western Channel Pile on the harbour off George's Head.
And the Dark Knight on the other side.
The Black Knight.
Dark Knight it's called, I'm told. Oh, the Black Knight, sorry folks.
And behind them, SeaTech from Queensland. So the fleet rather spread out. Halfway, or about 2/3 the way up this beat, or even a little bit further. It's Andu, Balmain, and then Finport's there somewhere. Yandu also prominent.
Smeg.
Smeg, where's Smeg get to? Oh, he's back behind Finport.
He's lining up with Finport.
Okay, so these boats look as though they're trying to get up to the ley line here, the Port Tack ley line. Breeze headed them a little, which will be favourable coming back.
One and in, Pete, but it's a header on the right edge here. So the guys on starboard will lift up to some degree. Finport probably gone far enough.
So Balmain obviously waiting till Andu tacks. So how far off the ley line?
Fair way, yeah.
Where's
the... Think about 90 and take off a bit, Peter, and you'll get the right answer.
Oh, getting a bit of wash there, Andu going up and down.
Fast ferry wash.
Well, it'd be impressive performance by Andu. Everyone thought they wouldn't be... would prefer the heavier air than the light air, but at the moment, the defending champions are leading the way in the invitation race, approaching the weather mark for the first time
on the Port Tack ley line.
And Balmain boys of Henry Larkins, Finn Sprott and Flynn Toomey have done a terrific job. Another young team. There's the Beechel boy, the weather mark. Nice little lay here, tide helping them a little on the run out.
Yeah, easy lay for both those guys.
Nice lay, yeah. The breeze has lifted the boats behind them, attacked a bit earlier, laying in as well.
Just what you need to do.
And good breeze here, probably the best we've seen all day. Probably 9, 10 knots, maybe even 11 in a little puffs. As Andu leads the way round. The weather mark the first time. Just a conventional bear-away set. There they go. They're out having a good practice run on Wednesday and a really tough nor'easter.
And the dark night on a skinny ley line coming in.
Yeah, good battle here for third as Balmain.
Black Knight.
Clearly second.
There's your homework for tonight.
Dark grey night.
Okay, windward set on the Balmain boys. Well done. Good job. And then a little gap to third, and look who it is. It's Yandu.
The boat that was over and went back.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Jimmy, and a good speed.
Incredible.
So all year this boat's had good speed. So Yandu will be third. Then our Queensland friends, the Bigfoot, from Queensland, Dave Hayter, Ben Roxburgh and Elliot Marr. They're around in fourth spot. Then the Black Knight, right on their hammer. And there's Finport. They're laying well down on Port Jibe, almost into Steel Point. Finport's around. They're off to Shark Island, don't forget. Smeg will be next. Smeg next, then SeaTech, the other Queenslander. So Queenslanders, both of them in the top 10. Lazarus not next now. The first New Zealander will be around next. So that's good effort from those boys. ASCC. She's around with a bit of a tangle, but out it comes.
Still pretty good set, despite that little...
Yeah, and Lazarus is next. She got a little bit lost up there. Finport's jibed out, which is Cleary's air, I guess. Following Lazarus around, there's the 18 New Zealand boat. There's the 18-footers around. Just in front of her is Lazarus. Then Offelhaus from Germany with a red spinnaker with a wine glass. Out it comes. Then Marine Outlet. John Cooley is next.
Next will be Royal Oak.
Royal Oak. And she is around. Then Fisher Paykel. Vycobe's well back. Okay, Fisher, there's the Royal Oak.
Wow, that's a set.
Good set. Then Fish Pie's next. Another good set. Get the sheet on. Yep. Okay, they're away on Port Jibe. Next will be Vycobe with a lot of ground to make up. Snapped into their work. And then following her...
Team Vic.
Team Victoria. And then Shaw and Partners. Emma Rankin, Cam McDonald and Tom Quigley. Then Kitchen Maker around. Sixth around. And then here comes the Burrowang after that group.
There's another boat that went back was the Burrowing at the start.
She did.
But
Burrowing's around.
They were at one boat length over, Jimmy. There was no doubt about their requirement, was there?
No.
And the next boat is 6th around. And who have we got here? The other New Zealand boat.
ASCC number 1, or whatever we can call it.
They're both called the same name, so we don't know which is which. So we do apologise. We'll sort that out by tomorrow. Andrew, that's your job. One job.
So that's ASCC, and the boat that's in front of them is ASCC number 2. I've already sorted it, Peter.
How do you know that?
Because I'm clever.
Oh, jeez. There'll be a lot of people doubting that.
You watch you watch it all light up on the comments, Pete.
Okay, and here we got our next boat is our friends, the Danes. The Bloody Dane, Jesper Brodum, Tobias Hemdorf and Sebastian Brusting.
The amount of clothing the Danes have got on, they will be...
Well, I think they're probably back in the snow, do they?
They do.
Yes.
They'll have the internal sauna operating.
Waving to Princess Mary or Queen Mary, what she is now.
Yes, indeed.
So the tail end Charlies, there's 2 of them, is our UK friends on the left. That's Luke Goebel, Simon Toplak and Max Seidel. And the last one round is Noakes. Now, giving them a bit of a start, Beck Hancock, Lindsay Stead and Brandon Byank.
I think they went back at the start as well.
They went back.
Yeah.
Nice set from the Great Britain team.
They didn't need to go back.
So we're off. Everyone's going downwind in light air. Majority ran on Port Jibe into Nielsen Park and jibed out, except Finport jibed very early. Got out into the stream and cleared his air. And that's the scene from a very quiet Sydney Harbour. Yep. The MG runs on the corner and then they need a well-judged jibe angle to thread the needle down to the island here. Big gains and losses for getting it spot on. And doing Balmain's away in the distance still. Just see how quiet it is on the harbour. That's the Nielsen Park beach they're looking at.
You need to become mayor for a week, Pete, to sharpen them up and get it moving.
So Finport's just coming off the point at Nilo and then having a look at the giant angle of the 2 leaders. Now that's Finport on. That's Finport now on starboard jibe again. Our friends here, they've got a small spinnaker on, haven't they? Well, they look
Very much so, it looks that way.
Yep. Done a Bobby Joy, put the wrong chute in the boat. It's not impossible, Pete. Back in the day when you had a few. So that...
Lazarus in the C-Tech there, with the C-Tech with the red spinnaker.
That's C-Tech with the red chute. He's jibed too early, trying to fudge his way down. That's lack of knowledge on the harbour from C-Tech, the boys from Queensland. Coach Brown wouldn't like me seeing that, getting right in under this headland. Steel Point, it's a bit of a graveyard in any conditions, certainly in these lighter airs. So, the folks looking ahead, you can see that there's no wind up high, and the new leader might be Yandu. Yeah, well, Balmain and Yandu got really high, as Andrew said, and that's Balmain bailing out on starboard with the orange chute. They really ran out of pressure there. Yandu are carrying on. They got a little header to get them down. But Speg and Yandu have come right into the picture here. That's Yandu to the right of screen. tumbling down with good pressure. 3 strings. Andu have rolled the dice here off camera. Oh, just there they are. It's very light. We've got one crew sitting in, Herman standing up, Sam Newton looking round, just looking for this puff to jibe in to get down to this mark at Shark Island. Come on, Peter, what would you do? They're light and lifted. Light and lifted. I'd keep going for a little while.
They just got a bit of puff and came away a little
I'd
there.
keep going.
Bucko. Game of patience at the moment.
Sam looking around, they're looking for this pressure. They're now getting headed. Least's pressure. Yeah, looking back, there's 3 boats vying for second, but they could well be vying for the lead here.
We all know that the fast track is down on as close to the shore as you can manage.
The shore of Shark Island, you mean?
Yeah, the shore of Shark on the leeward edge.
Not the shore of Rose Bay.
No.
But that's the view that Yandu have got looking back. They can see Yandu, so they've just got to find some pressure to jibe in and hopefully get a lift here so they can jibe on it. But
And Yandu just got able to skate away from Balmain to some degree there.
Yandu's managed to get him bow down in pressure, which is good for them. Now, still only 2 on the wire. Now they're going to jibe on the Yandu. This will tell the picture. Nice jibe, as you'd expect, with this high-quality team. They're going to still hold the lead here.
Yep.
Quite nicely, actually. They've got a good little one to go back on.
And the Smeg coming at them now on the face of a good puff in second place.
Smeg have got themselves into second place.
Yep.
Well done to Nathan McNamara, Jed Cruikshank and Jack Taylor.
So I think what happened there, Pete, the Yandu sailed too slowly. They actually sailed without enough riding moment. Too much VMG-ish.
It's a young team from Smeg and from Balmain, and
another good light air performance.
Yeah, Yandu jibing early. I don't know whether that's... Ooh, you want to get away from that island, I would think.
No, he'll jibe back.
Yeah. And then right on the exhaust pipe is the Black Knight. He's jibed early as well. Okay, I like Balmain coming out here a bit, get some depth and some bit of breeze here.
Nice jibe from the Balmain boys.
Yeah, well done.
And they are pretty fast downwind, the Balmain guys.
Well, so is the Smeg also at the moment. And Yandu's a little bit parked up there, jibing early.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the right answer.
No, I told you that, Andrew. Don't get up there too early. Stick with me. Stick with me.
You two have to swap roles this week.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is Finport. And then a big gap, huge gap.
To the Pelton.
Yeah, led by Lazarus.
Lazarus, Bigfoot.
Gee, they dumped them down, this leading group. So it's anyone's race, really, this top 6, but led by Yandu.
So here's your top 6, fellas. It's sort of selected itself, hasn't it? You guys don't need to do any homework. Just...
I was never one for doing homework, Bucko.
I know that.
Long way to go, Andrew. Shot. There's the peloton, I should say. Still to jibe, a long way off jibing. There's Yandu now starting to get a little bit of a wick up.
So that chasing pack, that yellow Spinnaker is the 18-footers bar and restaurant. Then you got SeaTech, Lazarus and Bigfoot is a chasing pack. So,
well, that's the top 6 we're looking at with the beautiful Point Piper in the background. And it's not a fast pace, this run, by any means. Normally in a nor'easter we see Spinnaker's been thrown at it, crews training to get around the western end of Point Piper, but they're anything but that at the moment. But now Yandu have got some good pressure. One man still in, 2 on the wire. Yandu foreground at the right, hunting for pressure as the Rose Bay ferry goes across to windward. No damage done. But Smeg are the team that's come out of that the best compared to the other 4 chasing Yandu. Yandu still leads very comfortably now.
Now, Main's not in bad shape either, Pete, down the leeward.
Yeah, well, she's the one that went furthest before she jibed. You can see Yandu very light. That's the gap that Yandu have got. That's a nice lead. He'd be very happy with that, Herman, at this stage, but still 2 long beats to go and 2 runs to go. Give him a bit of confidence in this light air, that's for sure. I think they're above the... Can we see the mark? They're above the mark, I think, aren't
the
they?
mark's down at the leeward edge of the island, Pete.
Okay. There it is, just popped out to leeward of... That's it, the orange mark.
Yep.
So he's well above it, so he's got 2 and in. Or maybe just 1 and in. Now Smeg's hunting pressure. It's the Black Knight, all boats, 2 on the wire and 1 sitting in, except Peter for there's Finport, there's Keegan York, he's on the wire, and 1 guy sitting in. A rubber on the front, Andu has jibed.
Yeah. Yandu just using a bit less riding moment than everybody else, Pete, I would observe.
So Balmain will be 3rd, with Smeg 2nd. So that late jibe paid off for Balmain. So they're approaching the leeward mark for the first time down at Clark Island.
And light and lifted, and Andu will have to do a completed jibe here.
I think Andu might be going home.
He's going home, yep.
I think he's going home. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So he's seen it all, done it all. Feels confident enough in the light air to go home. So
That's why the invitation race needs surprise running, Peter.
So we have a new leader. Smeg. I doubt whether they will be going home. Get the battens through, Smeg's jibe. And Balmain very close to them. You'll see them come across their stern. There he is. So that's the news. Andu, after leading quite convincingly in these light airs, have decided they've seen enough and preparing for tomorrow. They're going home to Double Bay and have withdrawn from the races. Smeg jibes. Done a good job here, these boys. Right at the mark. Breeze under 10 knots here. They're around. So now the big 2nd beat up to the Beechel boy. Smeg leads. Balmain under a bit of pressure here for the crew. Jibe drop. Nice job. Very good job, Balmain. Yandu 3rd. Black Knight will be 4th and Finport 5th. Yandu still haven't got the spinnaker down. What's happening here? Andrew, now it comes down very slowly and not much wind here. 2 leaders are around and gone. Well, Smeg's got some good pressure to bounce away from the mark. Still the spinnaker's not down on Yandu. Now it's just coming down. It's the Black Knight around next. Finport, he's going to... What's he doing? Finport missed the mark altogether.
So he's going for a practice sail, Peter.
Practice sail. So this is a bit... interesting. So Finport decided...
Well, there's no rush to go back, is there?
No. So he wants to chase the leaders, I guess, by missing the mark. As I say, you can... invitation race brings up a lot of possibilities and things people do, but this group of 5 have now stepped right away from the chasing pack, which is now led by the Bigfoot from Queensland, Dave Hayter and Ben Roxburgh and Elliot Maha. ASCC, one of our New Zealand friends, Honda Spinnaker. Well, we remember Honda that came and conquered over here, winning 3 titles. She was an outstanding boat that won the titles under Dave McDiarmid in 2018, 2019 and 2020, Honda Marine. Broke a long drought.
And there's talk of them resuming for next year, Peter.
Graham Catley said they might be back shortly, which would be great for the sport, great for New Zealand. So, as I said, they certainly broke the drought that went back to 1974 when McDell's won in Travelodge, New Zealand. But there's the 18-footer cafe, bar and the restaurant. The yellow chute just coming down. Now, it's Shaw and Partners, the red spinnaker, just behind the New Zealanders, and barrelling in with a white chute is the grey chute is Vicovey. They've made up a lot of ground, actually, Vicovey.
Them and Shaw and Partners made up a ton of ground.
Did they go around the island?
Well, you don't have to go around the marks today. It looks like Marine Outlet's going in.
Marine Outlet's had enough. So a lot of boats doing a lot of strange things today, but there's the next group going around. Vicovey will be next to go around behind the New Zealanders and Shaw and Partners. You can see how light it is at this leeward mark at Double Bay, Clark Island area. Following them around will be Lazarus, yep. Then I think SeaTech, is it, from New Zealand? SeaTech from New Zealand. And
From
the 18-footers. From Queensland, I'm sorry. SeaTech from Queensland. 18-footers, then Fisher Paykel. Gee, the fleet are spread out, aren't they? As you predicted, Andrew, in these light airs, you're not that hard to drop off a long way back. Another New Zealand boat. There's the Burrowanga with a light blue spinnaker going across on port. It's the Royal Oak just gone round the leeward mark, and next to go around will be the Hoffel House, followed by the Kitchen Maker. So who else has gone home, Jimmy? Marine Outlet and Andu.
Marine Outlet and Andu at this stage is it. And they've, I think if I was the Victorians with that small spinnaker on the big rig, I'd probably head to the bar quickly.
A light air like this. Finport's cut the corner, so he's still sailing, but not in the race. So if you've just joined us, this is the invitation race for the 2024 JJ Giltinans. And they're the leaders on the screen there. Smeg leads, followed by Balmain. First heat of the championship is tomorrow. We had one general recall before the fleet got away with a number of boats recalled. And in the foreground is the Black Knight from Germany, Heinrich, Thomas and Andy. Heinrich von Bayen, Thomas Martin and Andy Martin. Jimmy, we get a good look at that. New setup-ish.
The new setup-ish.
Yep. So they're all on port going in towards Shark Island. For those that know the harbour, there's Shark Island Lighthouse. At the northern end, there's the island itself. And they got the jib banged in this week. It's all good.
The report card's better, is it, Bucko?
Yeah, not bad at all. Got a couple of big tugs on the course at the moment. Jimmy, who's got a ship inbound or outbound or something?
A naval vessel inbound just off South Head.
Right. So he's going down the Eastern Channel, is he, by the look of it?
Something different.
Okay, there's one of the big tugs, and then way in the distance, a naval frigate, we assume. But anyway, we'll focus on the Balmain. They've split with Smeg. Balmain going to the left into Taylor Bay. Smeg going right into Shark Island, just tacking now. Yeah, this fleet have opened right up now. There's a huge gap in the fleet between the top group and the middle group and the distance, the back group. Light airs, 7, 8, 9 knots perhaps, maybe 10, tickling 10 at times. And we're halfway up the second beat of 3. as the two leaders are converging. And I think Balmain's got himself back in, or into the lead here. Coming off the Bradley's Head shore, it's going to be very close. There's the leaders, Smeg and Balmain. Smeg on a bit of a header, Balmain on a lift.
Yeah, Breeze a bit in the left here.
Yeah, it is in the left, isn't it?
Yeah.
Smeg still perhaps just might have it.
It's certainly close. Bow to bow, aren't they? As
Both
you can
crews
see
sailing very well.
in the shot.
As I mentioned earlier, Smeg won the final heat of the Australian titles. So if you want to come good, this is a good time of the year to be coming good. No, I think Smeg's clearly ahead now, having another look at it. Balmain's come off that lift a little. Down pressure. Smeg has got better pressure here.
Right, the old story. Balmain
Yeah, Balmain's up again. That's
back on starboard
yeah.
and going to the favoured side now, I think, Pete. I think the Breeze is a little bit of permanent left here.
Smeg, one of the long-time sponsors of the 18-footers, 27 consecutive seasons. And they've had a pretty successful run with a number of skippers. The Smeg.
A couple of names that spring to mind, Michael Coxon and Lee Napton. How are we going there for A grade, Jimmy?
Not bad, Bucko. Not bad.
Lee never finished an invitation race. Mr. Chittenden reminds us. He'd been to the Olympic training camp. So, Pete, have a look up now. What do you see?
Close. The
Balmain across him, I think, just
touch and go.
Yeah, but Balmain's in high left, so Smeg's going into a header. Just across.
Yeah, Balmain. Push it here. Yeah, he's across. Smeg's an attack, I think, underneath him. Okay, good job by both these crews, but Balmain especially.
And you see the source of that, Pete, more air and left-handed air that it is.
So while we're talking, Smeg, the boat sponsor, won 3 JJ Giltinan titles with 3 different skippers. Not a bad effort. They being Andrew.
Name them.
Beg your pardon. Name them. Don't look at your notes.
I've got a cheat sheet here, Pete.
Don't look at it. It's the first trivia question of the regatta.
I gave you 2, Michael Croxton and Lee Napton.
Yeah, and there's 3. You got a 66% success rate, which is good for you. As we look at, you can't look at your notes. So there's Yandu. She's going quickly to the right of the course.
Can't resist, can you?
Somewhere here.
You'll be embarrassed when you know, and I'm feeling embarrassed for the skipper.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
All right, then.
And I'm sure he's watching.
All right.
Well, that's the top 3.
Trevor Barnabas.
Oh, you looked up your notes. Well done.
But it tricked me. Amiga, Smeg, TUE.
Well, first failure. As that's Rose Bay. We're looking back. Up there is the big convent on the hill. And Balmain and Smeg duking it out, as they say, for first. Yandu, you wouldn't want to write them off. I don't know what's happened to Finport. He took a shortcut at the leeward mark, and has he kept sailing, or is he?
Yeah, he's still sailing. He's just over in Taylor's Bay.
Right,
just
well, he's a long
behind
way
us.
back, so don't know if he's been trying a readjustment of his rig or something, but he was much closer than this. But Yandu's really smoking down that shore now, coming into Steel Point. He'll be getting a bit of lift of the tide. There's a big, coming down, crossing from the Eastern Channel to the Western Channel is a big naval ship. see him in a moment.
We'll point our cameras at them and
There we go.
just hope they don't point anything else at us.
The PT73. Says he's got a lot of family and friends out or something, but anyway, good on you boys. Keep us safe, that's the main thing.
Jimmy, they've only got one pop gunner. You know, we stand a chance.
Big chopper on the back there.
Bloody a sea sprite that can't take off.
So there's the race for first here in this invitation race. Yandu's tack now onto starboard to come back and converge with Smeg and Balmain. And he's closed the gap. You'll see him in a moment come off the leech of Smeg. Oh, he's still a fair way off this lead, but they're halfway up the second beat. Remembering the next run is straight back to Clark Island.
2 mile VMG run.
Oh, good. Fairly long run. Back. Don't know how long the run is, Bucko?
Pretty much 2 miles.
2 miles, you reckon, eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I had my plotter out this morning, Andrew. What did you say it was?
2.
I'll pay that. I'll pay that.
Yeah,
But I've got all course distances, so be careful. You better do your homework.
Well, Peter, I'll ask you the question then. Which is the longest leg on the regularly used 18-footer course?
That'd be the run down to Obelisk, wouldn't it?
And how many miles is that? No looking at your notes.
No, well, I've done my homework. You haven't.
I'm looking at you guys.
I'll tell you tomorrow. When we might use the course. No good talking about if we're not using the course. Well, this is a drag race here between Balmain and Smeg. Balmain's bailed out, so he was just soaking a little bit into Smeg there. That's bottle and glass right between the two boats. Vaucluse, Parsley Bay in the background.
Yeah, Balmain just throwing a little freer.
Yeah, drove down onto Smeg. They tack now.
Just looking back up the harbour, Pete, the fleet is absolutely spread out. There's boats still at Bradley's.
It's a massive spread, Jimmy, isn't it? Massive.
Well, the best 2 visitors, call them that. Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, we say hello to Adrian, the UK class secretary for the 18-footers. AJH Sailing. Hello to you, Adrian. We wish the GBR 91 boys well. They're back a bit today, but a long way to go to get used to the harbour. Francois Morissette, greetings from Bordeaux in France. Hello to you, Francois. So there's the top Queensland boat today, the Bigfoot.
Well, vying for the title of top visitor at the moment with the Dark Knight.
The Black Knight as well.
Yep, them too.
We're going to have to take you and hypnotise you to get this right by the end of the week, aren't we?
Oh. It was a dark and stormy night, it's the problem.
Just a bad tack, those boys. That's sort of harbour management that Rob Brown was talking about. They tacked into the big wake of a ferry there or a powerboat.
Yeah, they didn't like the look of it.
And the breeze has gone left, hasn't it?
The breeze has gone left and it lifted off on the right edge, Peter.
Yeah, so...
Just reading a comment from Jody Shields saying that you blokes sound like the 2 old fellas from the Muppets.
Which two, you and Bucko?
I think so. I think that's who he's talking about.
That's quite rude for... I hope you take offence, Jimmy and Andrew.
Never.
Well, here's Finport, Keegan York. Well, all we know about them, they took a shortcut at the Leeward Mark by not going round it. And I guess they're just out to have a test their speed or their rig tune as we're approaching the weather mark for the second time in this 8 to 9 knot northeasterly breeze for the invitation race of the winning JJ Giltinan Championship, the winning the sponsors. And it's a battle at the front between Smeg, we're looking at now, the great overhead shot. Close to a ley line, maybe under a ley line, I think. Are they, Andrew?
No, on it, I would say.
Sorry,
I think they're on it.
they're on it. That's a great overhead shot.
Great stuff, Del.
Julian with Balmain have got a lot further up to windward and out on their hip by a fair way.
You see the crew positioning, forward hand right at the front of the wing, so they're still a bit tenuous about the amount of pressure that's around.
And breeze in the left. Now what boat's that, Andrew?
Black Knight.
Very good. Very good. Oh, he's short of the ley line, Smeg, off camera, he's had to tack.
Not much short,
I
but short.
think Balmain might be leading here if he's still on the Black Knight. Looking back to Vaucluse Bay.
Very close.
And I think Balmain's going to be across him here. Yes, he is, by a couple of boat low. Yep, Balmain leads. Henry Larkins, good job. Good job by both these boats. They've been really dueling it out all the way from the leeward mark. So there it is. The Beechel boy, the famous Beechel boy for the second time. Ease the gear now. There's a long run back down to Clark Island.
So probably there should be a jibe set, Pete, but let's see.
Okay, let's see what they do. Balmain around. They're jibing. Yep. Good call, Andrew. Smeg, what are they going to do? Follow suit? Yes. No. No.
No, he's going to do a bear weight.
Oh, Smeg. Come on, boys, sheet on. There we go. Oh. Smeg have got their set. They're running away on port, so nothing in, probably a boat length in it between these two young teams that have done exceptionally well today.
But distinctly less pressure over a bottle and glass than there is in the middle of the flow.
Third around will be Yandu. She's about 40 seconds adrift, I'd say. 30 to 40 seconds adrift. Still close enough to cause a concern. I think there's Mick Lane at the helm.
And they've looked a bit clumsy on a couple of occasions, so let's see how they go here.
They just tapped that top mark with their wing, which, being one of these YA marks, you wouldn't want to be tapping them too hard.
No. There's the set. And that's in their background is coming upwind is Finport, who, as we said before, didn't go around the leeward mark. And here's the Black Knight in fourth spot.
The Black and Dark Knight. Here it is.
Good job by Heinrich and the Martin boys, Thomas and Andy, jibing as well. Now Smeg has jibed. She's run down on port for about 100 metres, then jibed.
So that this German crew had now enough experience on the harbour to know the basic structure, I think, pretty well.
Do they know Bigfoot's under them?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do now.
They had a quick look. And there's the Bigfoot.
Well done, though, those guys. That was a pretty neat piece of evasion there.
So there's Smeg. Next around will be the Bigfoot. And remembering just ahead of them is Finport is not in the race as such, although he's sailing somewhat of the course.
Just the parts he wants to, though.
Just sits off the Bigfoot.
And what do you reckon, Jimmy? I think you'll see Finport go straight back to the park from here.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, so after that is our New Zealand friends on the tail of the Bigfoot. There they go. ASCC. And following them, Shaw and Partners has come into the picture, Emma Rankin. There's the New Zealanders around. Shaw and Partners will follow them, followed by Lazarus, C-Tech. There's Shaw and Partners on an easy lay. Camp Cove Beach in the background. Not too many people on Camp Cove today. It's hot enough, but it's not sunny enough for those that want to get a bit of skin cancer into them. So, the purple chute belongs to the Bigfoot, and there's Vycobie, the Royal Oak, Fisher Paykel. That's Yandu with a white spinnaker with George's head in the background. Still on starboard jibe, remembering straight back to Clark Island this time. Balmain just jibed in Taylor Bay and looked to have extended their lead quite considerably over Smeg. Remembering they jibe set at the weather mark and have extended well away from Smeg. Smeg's had to, Smeg's had to jibe to avoid the Dufkin feet. Yep, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, Dufkin, part of the Sydney Heritage Fleet. But anyway, that's the gap now. It's considerable, isn't it? So they're about halfway down the run, approaching Bradley's Head. So folks, that's technique-wise the crew's now using all their riding moment. So 3 guys on the end of the rack, so indicating wind speed up around 10. So that's a nice lead to Balmain, considering they were only a boat length or 2 apart at the windward mark.
It'll be close when Smeg go back with Yandu.
Yes,
actually.
Yandu's put himself right in the frame, Jimmy, for second. Yeah, nice, gentle run here.
Smeg and Balmain both lighter crew weights than Yandu. That's the gap. Looks like a lot on the screen, doesn't it? But it's only about 20 seconds or 30 seconds. Because the boat's now sailing at probably 14 knots, Jimmy, yeah?
Yeah,
close enough, yeah.
Near enough.
So boat's still on port jibe. Smeg running right in towards Shark Island. It's not far off a jibe, I wouldn't think.
No, you're going to the edge of the track here, mate. Good pressure at the corner here.
That's what he wants. And there's Yandu. He's going to be right in the mix as Smeg gets ready to jibe. Here they go. Well executed. Lovely jibe. Now, will they cross Yandu? That's the next equation for Smeg. And Yandu's running down nicely on port jibe. But now Smeg is starting to take off. He's quite got the mainsail battens across now. They're across, are they? Yep. No. One more shake. No, still shaking.
Hard to do.
Give it a yank on the cunning end. That tends to help it. There you go. They're done.
They're across now. Gee,
They're still second, Pete.
Not by much.
I didn't say much.
You said second. You're still backing second in?
Yeah. I think it probably will cross. Yes, they'll cross quite comfortably, not quite comfortably. So the battle now is really for second as Balmain has skipped right away. It's an amazing gap they've opened up over Smeg when they were basically boat to boat at the weather mark.
Well, Smeg had to do 2 more jives because of the square rigger, and probably
That's not too jives difference.
Did the wrong thing in doing a bear away rather than a jibe sit at the top.
So that's, you can see in the distance, Yandu's still on port jibe, not far off jibing, but Balmain laying down to the mark. Yandu getting ready to jibe. There they go. They're through. Yeah. Lovely jibe. Terrific jibe by those boys. Now, Smeg now get a real header. Can they get down? Probably not. Balmain have picked up pretty nicely.
Yeah, Balmain's on the money.
Yeah.
But you should approach this mark on the starboard low line, not on the port low line.
So Yandu have tried to line it up on this lay line, as you say. We're going to go through some big powerboat wash here.
Come Award coming for
well,
you,
this bloke's, he's on. Oh, look at this. This bloke's on the podium, that bloke. Look at these waves. Geez, Yandu's navigated them successfully. Oh,
the camera cat, not so much.
No, we're a bit up and down.
Crash bang. Balmain going in for the drop.
Get your Rolex running here, Andrew. So one more beat to go as they round the leeward mark for the final time.
I'm seeing orange flashing lights on the finish boat. So I think
they're
we're going to
finish them
shorten
here?
course.
Well, that could well make sense, Jimmy. Is that
That's
what we got?
Balmain for the win.
So we're happy with that, are we? Is that what's happening, you think?
I believe so.
Looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, Balmain.
Absolutely.
Well, good job, Balmain. Terrific. From that crew, Henry Larkins and Finn Sprott and Flynn Toomey. They'll win the invitation race on the shortened course. Smeg second. Another good performance.
So in rough terms, Pete, 40 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, Smeg second. Yandu will be third. Yep, shortened course flag is up. As Yandu go across in third place. Beautiful. Nice little spike in the breeze there. Probably got his 10 knots to get him home. And then the Black Knight coming in fourth.
Into double figures, mate. Good stuff.
So I didn't want to keep them out too long in this lightish air, and the fleet way spread out. Some have just really gone round the
It's fun up at the Western Channel.
Yes. Yeah, just on the Black Knight in their cockpit for our friends in Germany. They've had a pretty good effort out there today. Got away well, and will finish in fourth spot for the invitation race. And then a big gap to fifth.
That looked pretty composed from those boys, didn't it?
They did, yeah, the Smeg boys.
2 in a row. Don't know if they would have caught the
Balmain if they went around.
And etc.
Well, there's Finn Port, one of the favourites for the Giltinan. He's retired from the race, Keegan York, and he'd probably be just going home because he didn't round the leeward mark the last time. So that will mean fifth will be to the Queenslanders in the Bigfoot, Dave Hayter, Ben Roxburgh and Elliot Maher. Screaming in on laying down to the finish.
bit of build in the breeze.
So they will be 5th, the Bigfoot, but who will be 6th? That's the question. Maybe, just behind them are the Shore Partners, and they probably overlaid the...
Just ever so slightly, Shippo.
A bit of Clancy at the overlay.
Yes, they're really going to struggle to get up here because the breeze has headed them a little. Emma Rankin, she's done a good job though, but she's going to have to... Lazarus is going to beat them across the finish line. They have to drop their chute, I think.
And they misled the Kiwis behind them as well.
So 5th is the Bigfoot. Oh, a battle for 6th between Lazarus. Shore Partners wrestling to get the Spinnaker down to get up to the finishing line. They're on starboard. The Lazarus, where's Lazarus going? They're across the line now. So Lazarus 6, 7 Shore Partners. Eighth will be C10. So good day for the Queenslanders.
Great day for the Queenslanders.
5 and an 8. Well done, boys. Very well done. And next will be by Kobe. Won't be that happy with that effort, I wouldn't think. They they didn't seem to like the softer pressure today. They got jammed in at the start, and give the boats a start in these conditions.
Pretty tough, yeah. 3 seats in row F, do not purchase.
I think one of the New Zealand boats, did he not cross the finishing line? Our friends with the Honda Spinnaker?
No, mate, no. Didn't go through the finish line.
Didn't go through the finishing line. So by Kobe 9th, and then 10th will be the green Spinnaker belonging to the Royal Oak. So Andrew, first heat tomorrow.
I think the Royal Oak's heading home.
Is he heading home? He's going to...
Well, he's making his jive angle pretty hard for himself.
He's making it pretty ugly. As we see Jordan Curtis at full wick here.
The fleet all caught out by a little bit of build.
Building and heading.
Yeah.
They're fighting hard here, these boys. Hang on to it, Jordan. You'll be right.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not, though.
Maybe not.
Oh, there's a strawley out there. Think heavy.
Think heavy. Just give it a bit of a rag, boys. Should be right.
Yeah. Push the bow up. There's jagging the chute on. What's he going to do?
He's just
give up.
He's going to give up, I think. Yeah. So the Royal Oak, he didn't finish. Fisher Paykel didn't finish. So it's all rather academic now. So the 18-footers will be 10th. So Andrew, first of all, tomorrow, the weather. Give us your fearless prediction for the first heat.
Nothing fearless. Expected to be pretty solid nor'east. Like this only doubles, shall we say, approx. The models haven't been in substantial agreement, but...
a busy day out on the harbour with the Sydney Harbour Regatta on.
Yeah. Big day for yachting in Australia, or in Sydney at least tomorrow. The Sydney Harbour Regatta and the 18-footer JJ Giltinan.
You sure it's going to be nor'easter?
Or southerly, perhaps, Pete.
Change the
plan.
I reckon it's going to be a southerly.
Fair enough. Sorry, 20 knot, 20 to 25 southerly.
Now, Andrew, you need an early night.
Okay. So let's go back to the dock.
Okay, so we've seen the invitation race. After a false start, we saw Andu lead around the track the first time. Then he decided he'd seen enough and went home and left the race between Smeg and Balmain. And finally, Balmain got the victory from Smeg and Yandu. Black Knight was 4th. Bigfoot, Lazarus, Shore and Partner, C-Tech by Kobe and the 18-footers. And a lot of boats retired and did various things. So anything to take out of it, Andrew?
Oh, absolutely. The younger, lighter crews were pretty good. The balance of the Giltinan probably not going to be that windy. The Germans were competitive all day. The Kiwis struggled a bit, but we'll see them improve as the week goes on. I think that they might end up in the top 6, the best of the Kiwis.
But what about the performance of Andrew? Big crew, light winds.
Well, they
led round.
smashed them at the first beat, and I'm not exactly sure what happened, but they came out in front and never looked back, did they? So,
well, I think they were quick as well.
Yeah,
you know.
obviously.
I don't think they got it there by jagging something. I think they just slowly chipped away and did a very good job. As we're watching our Danes come across.
Well, they were the first boat onto the right edge, the eastern edge, Pete. So I think it was a pretty solid game.
Well, I think they'd be happy with that. I mean,
absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, well, I think we'll probably seen enough. Lightish day, and tomorrow, well, Andrew thinks it'll be a nor'easter. I'm backing into southerly, but we'll see how we go.
I'll stick with you, Shippo.
And we might see the white night out as well as the black night.
No, the dark and stormy night as well.
Right.
Well,
Don't worry.
You're away from them for tonight, Bucko.
Okay, well, look, thank you for joining us. It's hasn't been a real thrills and spills. We may well see that tomorrow in a strongish breeze that's forecast. We hope you can join us. I'm sure you will. It's the jewel in the crown for the 18-footers on Sydney Harbour, the JJ Giltinans, and the first heat tomorrow, the normal time at 2:45 Eastern Summer Time, second day of March, the second day of autumn, and we're hoping for a thrilling contest. I don't think there's any clear favourite, but there's a few boats close to the top of the leaderboard as far as favourites concerned. So on behalf of all the team here, we say, on behalf of Jimmy Bew, Andrew Buckler and all the team, Peter Shipway, looking forward to your company tomorrow from Sydney Harbour for the first heat of the JJ Giltinan title.